A NATO press conference where Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin is speaking live right now. John, we hope to speak to you soon on WION. Thank you for your comments.
Of some proportion before the Ukrainians can do the same. So a similar scramble seems to be looming. Yesterday, you outlined a deep and wide range of military support pledged to Ukraine. You just mentioned it again today. But with ports jammed and railways clogged with some production off pace, how certain are you that this support will get to Ukraine in time? Or, as you just said in your opening remarks, how will history record something very differently? Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. What we're seeing from Russia continues to pour large numbers of additional people into the fight. And those people are ill-trained and ill-equipped. And because of that, we see them incurring a lot of casualties. And we'll probably continue to see that going forward. That's their strength. They have a lot of people. Our goal is to make sure that we give Ukraine additional capabilities so that they can be not only be marginally successful, they can be decisive on the battlefield in their upcoming offensive. And so you've seen us move to provide Bradley fighting vehicles. You've seen us move to provide Strikers, Martyrs, Leopard tanks, and a number of other things that we're pulling together to provide them additional capability that I think will make a pretty significant difference in their counteroffensive in the spring. So we're laser focused on making sure that we provide a capability and not just platforms, Tom. So for every system that we provide, we're going to train troops on that system, but we're also going to give them additional training on maneuver, on the integration of fires, on sustainment, and on maintenance. And so with that additional capability, better trained troops, platforms that can perform a lot better in this environment, I think they'll have a real good chance at making a pretty significant difference on the battlefield and establishing the initiative and being able to exploit that initiative going forward.
Thank you, sir. Our next question will go to David Botti, Sveriges Television.
Thank you, Secretary Austin. David Boatti from Swedish Public Television. Regarding the accession process, do you predict that both Sweden and Finland will be members at the summit this summer? And is there something the United States can do to help make that happen?
Well, I certainly hope that they will, David. And I know that all of my colleagues feel the same way. They are ready to join now, and these are two countries that are highly capable, that bring a lot of value to the alliance once they join. We've trained with them in the past. They've invested a lot in modernization, and so they'll bring a lot to the table. Now, when and how they join will be really up to the leadership of both of those countries, and I know that their leadership is leaning forward, and so we'll see what happens. I won't hazard to predict. I would just tell you that I know all of my colleagues are with me in saying that we'd like to see them join as soon as possible.
Thank you, sir. And our final question will go to Bill Hennigan, Time Magazine.
Sir, in the last 24 hours, we've heard that a F-16 shot at and missed a flying object over Lake Huron, and that the objects themselves may likely be for research or some other benign reason. Given that there's been no other shoot-downs in the past 2 days after we had 3 in a row, is the military now more wary to engage these objects? And then secondly, it seems that the debris is located in some hard-to-reach places, to put it lightly. So how important is the recovery of this wreckage in to deciding the policy ahead?
Thanks, Bill. I'm not aware of any additional objects that have been reported operating in the space in the last 48 hours. So But in terms of whether or not the debris is important, it's absolutely important. And we're going to do everything we can to recover debris if it's possible. That will help us learn a lot more about, what these objects are. We're also working with other agencies, NASA, FAA, FBI, and everybody in the community who may have an interest in operating in this space to learn more about, what these could have possibly been. And so I would just tell you that the safety and security of the American people, that's the thing that's most important to me and to everybody on the DoD team and throughout the interagency. So we're going to continue to drill until we learn as much as we can about what these objects are and why they were operating in those spaces. We will always err on the side of caution, but again, there's a lot to be learned going forward. So,
thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time we have for today. This concludes our press briefing. Thank you.